police have now connected the New York City and New Jersey shore town bombings, saying that the same man is now being sought for questioning in both. They consider the man armed and dangerous.
We're grateful that Congressman Chris Stewart could take a few minutes out of what I'm sure is going to be a busy morning in Washington to join us here. Congressman, when something like this happens, particularly in a place like New York, does this change the way business goes, or you go about business in Washington today?
Well, it'll change. I mean, this isn't terribly surprising. That many of us, and I think generally almost everyone, expects that this kind of thing can happen. We're doing everything we can to stop it, but we'll be looking at it certainly. But there's a lot left to learn.
What do you think of what's happened today? I know that they're looking for this suspect right now. Is this alarming? Is it discouraging? What's your take on what's happening right now in New York and New Jersey?
Well, again, it's alarming, but it's not terribly surprising. I mean, it would be shocking if this individual acted alone. And in fact, we have reports now that 4 or 5 family members, primarily associates of him, are on their way to the airport. They've been apprehended. And something like this doesn't occur in a vacuum. Even if he hasn't had help, he certainly had people around him who must have been aware or at least suspicious that something was afoot. And that's one of the keys to stopping these type of terrorist attacks, is to be able to reach out to those individuals around the suspect terrorist or the potential terrorist and encourage them to come forward and to give us information about things that they know are not right. But again, he certainly wasn't acting alone. I'd be shocked if these aren't tied, the 3 of these incidences. And it tells us that there may be a cell operating within that area, and we don't know who they are yet.
As someone who sits on the Select Committee on Intelligence, and your constituents obviously looking to you in Washington to come up with ways to help keep us safe, is it frustrating for you and for the rest of the folks back in Washington?
Well, it is frustrating, and part of it is of our own doing. For heaven's sakes, when this is a terrorist attack, we should say very, very plainly, this is a terrorist attack. And when some of us have been advocating, for example, look, we can't vet those people who are coming from Syria, for example. I'm not saying Muslims, I would never say that, but from geographical locations that are so chaotic right now that we have no idea who the individuals are coming from there. And we know that, for example, ISIS used the refugee program to infiltrate terrorists who participated in both the Brussels and the Paris attacks, again, coming in as refugees. And when we have very, very moderate and practical, potential solutions, which is just let's not let the individuals from that area in for a while until we know for sure who they are. And yet when those types of ideas are politicized and people say, well, you're being racist, you're being Islamophobic. That's not true. We're just trying to be practical. We're just trying to protect Americans. And it's frustrating in the sense that sometimes these kind of conversations become overly political.